Hello, everyone. Today I'll be taking a look at the city of Deja Vu, otherwise known as Vigrid, so let's get started. Vigrid is the primary setting for Bayonetta, as well as a central element to the plot of the story. Dubbed as the City of Deja Vu, its stance in the world acts essentially as a city-state in Europe, rather than an urban location in a designated European country. The scenery and urban sprawl are reminiscent of pre-Renaissance-era architecture, with roving avenues, ornate vistas, and palatial plazas. The only means of accessing Vigrid is a single rail system, with which visa permits are extensively enforced. Beneath the city is an extensive network of catacombs whose history is not fully divulged. Later in the game, it is established that Vigrid was more than just a secluded city-state. The entire city was once the fortress stronghold of the covenant of Lumen sages and Umbra witches before the civil war that destroyed both dynasties. The city itself is deeply intertwined with Paradiso and sometimes overlaps dimensions to allow the hierarchy of Laguna to travel on Earth easily. Though the city has no diplomatic leadership to speak of, it actually does tout a leader, of sorts, being none other than the last surviving Lumen sage, Father Balder. He is the president of a multi-billion-dollar technological conglomerate known as the Ithavoll Group, whose very prominence has maintained Vigrid's immense wealth, self-sustainability, and isolationism. He is also the high priest and religious authority of the Ragna religion, an eclectic religion established in Vigrid that worships Jubileus the Creator and encourages its followers to commit mass suicide to have their souls transformed into new angels. The central station of Vigrid is the one and only way of entering or exiting Vigrid, built like most European railway station platforms. Passengers heading to Vigrid are required to show a Vigrid-issued entry visa at security inspection before they are allowed in. A hidden passage blocked off by a golem material wall shows a sewer system and a secret elevator to the central station plaza. In the central station exists old temple hallways that lead into a large park area and a beautiful cliffside bridge that go further into Vigrid's neighborhood. The various routes of Vigrid, the streets lead into several large neighborhoods that house Vigrid's population and community areas, which include food carts, restaurants, and produce stores. Among the outer part of the streets is the cliff sides of the city, which gives the residents an incredible view of the ocean, and cliffs on the eastern side of this vista is cut-off area that features an old church. Also viewable is the cliff where an ancient Colosseum lies. On the western side is a locked door that is eventually used to access a street that leads into a plaza which also holds entry into the catacombs below the city. The catacombs below Vigrid's surface are large, cavernous areas that are visited during Chapter 3 due to Fortitudo's influence. The underground tombs are bristling with open lava and dangerous explosions. Additionally, there are large bridges and a gateway into Paradiso known as Porta del Paradiso. There is also a vertical tunnel that leads to the ancient Colosseum from here, also known as the ruins of Luna and Sol. These desolate temples, as implied by name, were the training grounds for Umbra witches and Lumen sages visited during Chapter 6. The temple ruins are under control from Vigrid security, who have enclosed initial access. Further within these ruins lies several portals to Paradiso, one of which grants access to the Vigrid Air Force Base. The immense base west of Vigrid is the state's primary military defense. The hangars house several majestic military jets known as Valkyries that appear to travel from Vigrid to either Isla del Sol or other locations. Vigrid's generally strict code of conduct does not shy away here. Both Temperantia and Iustitia are fought here at different times. The ornate and resplendent house of worship in Vigrid is the primary location where followers of the Ragna religion gather to proclaim their praises of the angels of Laguna and prayers in preparation for the resurrection of Jubileus. Inside are stained glass windows detailing the prophecies of their faith and a golden altar by which to say prayers. Now it's time for a little commentary. Considering this is the only main city in Bayonetta 1, it plays a huge role in the game. Not only is it the home base for the player character, but it's also the primary location for pretty much everything that happens in the story. If I had to guess how the developers designed Vigrid, I'd probably imagine they looked at the design aesthetic of European cities such as Rome or Greece and then mashed it up together with some aspects of Japanese architecture. I really like the design of this city because it has a really nice classical feel to it while still looking modern enough to fit in the setting of a video game. And speaking of the video game, one thing I really love about Vigrid is how it's portrayed throughout the game. Because of the city's emphasis on isolationism, they went out of their way to make sure that the rest of the world would not be able to see the city of Vigrid using technology and even the power of the angels themselves to block anyone who tries to take a picture of the city. This helps establish how secretive and mysterious Vigrid is, giving the city a sort of mystique. It adds a lot of lore to the city, implying that it's been hiding something important all along. And of course, the major reveal at the end of Bayonetta 1 about Vigrid being the former stronghold of the Lumen Sages and Umbra Witches further cements this idea that the city has a lot of importance and mystery surrounding it. Another aspect of Vigrid that I think deserves praise is the level design of the city. When exploring the various parts of Vigrid, whether it's the catacombs or the training grounds of Lunasa Solis, the level design is done in such a way to emphasize the grandeur of the city. Large, gaping holes are everywhere, accompanied by a sense of mystery. Because the game doesn't give out any exposition about the city until later, it allows us to explore and use our imagination to fill in the gaps about what Vigrid is and why it's so special. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the city of Vigrid. Let me know your opinions in the comments down below. I'm planning on doing the same thing for the city of Isla del Sol, but that's going to have to wait until after Bayonetta 3 releases. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. See you next time.